Hi guys, welcome to this video. Now, this is going to be about why people hate working a 9 to 5 job. Now, I'm speaking for people that actually hate their 9 to 5, not to people who enjoy their 9 to 5. There are a lot of people who actually go to work and they clock in and they actually enjoy what they do. If that sounds like you, congratulations, but the most of us that don't like their 9 to 5 jobs, this is for you. So, one reason that people don't like their 9 to 5s is because the lack of opportunity within the 9 to 5. You can work for a company for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. You could still be at the same position that you were when you first started, or that they will advance you just a little bit, just enough for you to stay, to make you think that you're going to get a promotion. And then you get upset when you don't get a huge promotion, but you think like, oh, they guilt trip you into saying, thinking that you'll get one next year. And then it keeps happening. It keeps happening. They keep postponing your promotion. So that's one of the reasons why people hate working a 9 to 5. You pretty much work for 40 hours. You work, sleep, eat, and you make a lot of sacrifices just working a 9 to 5. You sacrifice your health. You sacrifice your time. You sacrifice your vacation if they don't approve your vacation. You pretty much are always at work 9 times out of the 10. You have to work 40 hours a week just to make an income. Nobody wants to work 40 hours a week and come home with no money. Nobody wants to work 40 hours a week just to pay their bills. People are tired of just enough. People want more with their life. People want life with purpose. So I feel like just working a 9 to 5 all the time, yes, use it to pay your bills, but to solely rely on a 9 to 5 that could cut you at any moment for a AI robot or a robot itself. Not to disrespect anybody, but it could happen at any moment, and there's nothing that you can do about it. What are you going to do about it when they fire you? There's been massive layoffs from these big corporations because they're trying to save money any way they can, so that once they save more money, they make more money. So that's why they cut jobs. So you don't know. You're on borrowed time when you're at a job. It's like you're pretty much a subscription. You work, you get paid every week, every 2 weeks, whatever, or every month. And if they decide to let you go, you no longer get paid. And that's how it is with a 9 to 5. Now, another reason why people hate their 9 to 5 jobs could be their managers. People don't quit jobs, people quit managers. So sometimes a manager can be toxic. They could just dislike you for any reason. Or if you're not working up to your standard, then they really dislike you and they figure out creative ways for you to quit. So they cut your hours. That's the first way, right? So you get frustrated and then you start telling the manager like, hey, why are my hours cut this week? Or they stop promoting you less, and then you get frustrated more because you're not getting promoted at all as many other people are. So you start to look at that. Or there's a deficiency in your paycheck, as in they miss a couple of hours on your payroll. That could be a creative reason for you not to want to work. Or they pretty much reject your vacation because they have certain blackout days or whatnot, or you have to find coverage for it and you can't find the coverage. So it's either you pick your vacation or your job. So people quit because of managers, people quit because of lack of opportunity, and people hate their 9 to 5 jobs because there's no excitement. When you've gotten hired at the job, you're excited for the first few months that you're there. But then once you're there, you're doing everything, you feel as if you're qualified enough to move on to more difficult things. The manager says you're not ready yet. Now, the manager has been there for a while, so you cannot blame them for not, thinking that you're ready. But sometimes, like, if you're allowing somebody else to dictate whether you're ready for an upper management position or whatever with more experience, I feel like you should go for it. But some managers, they just won't let you. So therefore, you feel frustrated for that reason. And there's a thing called inflation, as in inflation comes every year. Every year, the prices of your items go up by 20%, 30%, 50%, or whatever the case may be. They just go up. But your pay rate stays exactly the same, or it goes up by literally not much, not enough to cover the cost of the new price, but just enough to where you notice that you are in a bad spot because a McChicken used to cost $1. Now a McChicken is $5. Now with our pay rate, if you still make minimum wage, 9 times out of 10, you'll notice that that McChicken price has gone up. But if your pay rate had increased significantly as the products did, you probably wouldn't notice that there's inflation. So people hate their 9 to 5s because they can't afford to be bored. The commute, if you're in a commute and then there's traffic, right? There's traffic an hour for you to get there, then another hour for you to get to work. Then you have to work another 8 hours. You know, your whole day is gone. So literally all the time you have is to literally go home and sleep. You know, the traffic can be very bad. It could be good going to work, but then coming home from work, the traffic is like so bored. You know, you don't want to sit in traffic after being at work all day in the desk for 8 hours, sitting down doing corporate work. Nobody wants that. You know, the traffic, the bills are piling up. You know, you just can't afford it no more. It's the traffic. It's the fact that you don't have a social life. You have to pick between having a social life or having a job now, because one job, 40 hours a week, is not enough. You might need 2 jobs, right? You might need 2 jobs. You might need 3 jobs, or even 4, because inflation is so high that you just can't afford certain things anymore. You know, there's a saying that most people don't even have $1,000 saved up as an emergency fund, and I'm one of those people that don't have $1,000 saved up for an emergency. So if something were to happen to me, I would not have it. And that's how life is, you know. Anything could happen at any moment, and we all have to be prepared for it. But 9 to 5 grind, it's like it's a rat race. You're you're in a you're a mouse that's in a spinning wheel, and you're spinning, spinning, spinning at like 60 miles per hour, and then you finally take a break to get some water, and then you're back spinning again. And that's how exactly how it feels. Like you get 2 days off, 40 hours a week. That's 5 days a week, 9 to 5, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Your break is at around 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Or if you get a 30-minute break, your break is from 1 to 3:30. You know, so you get like a 15-minute break, you sit down, relax. You could have a phone call, you know, or you could just take a smoke break or whatever. What people do on their 15-minute breaks, you know. But you literally have 2 days off, and 2 days off is not even enough, because 2 days off, one day you're catching up on everything, and then the other day off you're just relaxing, or you're sleeping all day from doing all that catching up. So technically, you only have one day off. So technically, to recover from a 40-hour work week, you need about 3 days off just to feel like yourself again, depending on what hours you work. And I would say the best hours to work is in the morning, because you get out early. You know, you get out early, you still have the rest of your day to do errands, or you could just relax for a bit and just have some time to yourself. You know, 9 to 5, you get out at 5, you'll be home by 6 o'clock. You have 4 hours out of your day to just watch TV or do whatever, play video games or just chill out. But if you start at 2 o'clock and your shift is from 2 to 11, 2 to 10, or 3 to 11, your day is done. Like, your whole day is gone. And this is why, like, working a 9 to 5, you almost have to plan ahead Like, you can't just be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go on vacation." No, you have to plan your vacation with your job because some jobs literally won't approve your vacation because you just planned it on the wrong day, and then you have to literally pick your job or a vacation. And it's like nowadays, it's hard to find a 9 to 5, and it's easy to get fired from a 9 to 5. So it's like you just gotta pick your poison sometimes. Like, do you want to be, at a place you don't like for 8 hours a day, or do you want to be doing something you like, but you just don't get paid enough to do it? Because working your passion, you're not gonna get paid a lot of money at first because it just takes time to build yourself up to that point. And then when you do, it's like a relief. Like, oh, like I have really made myself great, Like like people rely on a 9 to 5 for benefits and insurance and all that stuff like that. But retirement and all that good stuff. But all that could be taken from you. So it's like there is no job security nowadays. You have that pandemic thing that happened 2020 where everything went down. So now you just don't know. Like, so people just hate working 9 to 5s. People just don't want to be there because they don't get paid enough to be there. So what they do is they just try to find a job that they enjoy doing. So it's like if you're not gonna get paid enough, you might as well find something that you like that's not too much on your body. So now you have to really pick your health over a job because if you burn out from working so much hours, your body's gonna need rest. If you don't take that rest, you're gonna be sorry. And I'm telling you that right now from experience. I've burned out myself, and I really regret burning out myself. I'm working 50-hour work weeks, 60-hour work weeks, not giving myself any balance or anything like that. Finally listening to my body. You really have to take care of yourself because nobody's going to take care of you for you. If you're passed out, your job might care just enough so that they don't get in trouble. So you have to really think about yourself and never put your mental health over anybody. So you really have to really judge like 9 to 5 is not for everybody, especially retail. Like retail, if you want someone to test your patience, work in retail because they will literally test your patience so bad. People will ignore signs. It'll be like a danger sign right there saying do not step. And people will literally step on that sign for no reason. Like you see the sign that says do not step. You know, people will ask dumb questions and then you have to sit there and answer every dumb question. You know, it's almost like they're insulting your intelligence by doing that. So you really have to be patient with people, you know. And that's another thing with companies, they'll like to use people because they know they can take advantage of them, and don't let them take advantage of you. Like if everybody just chased their dreams and like actually did something for themselves, sorry about that, for themselves, like people would actually live a happier life. You don't have to be a millionaire chasing your dreams, but like at least do it to the point where you can make enough money to where you don't have to experience burnout or experience anyone telling you what to do. Like there are people that can work off of rules and there are people that can't. Like there are some people that can't be told what to do. They always have to be on their own. So if you're that type of person that can't be told what to do, you have to chase your dreams no matter what. Because literally, if you don't listen to your boss, they're literally just gonna fire you and find somebody else that's willing to listen. So, working a 9 to 5, it just gets to you. Because why would you want to just work a 9 to 5 till they fire you? You know, it's soul sucking. Like nobody wants to be grinding for a prize that is not there, and you just don't see it any monetary, achievement or advancement. It's a repeated cycle. You know, you're overworked. You just lack of purpose, toxic work environment. People could just push your buttons. Your coworkers could be mean. Sometimes your coworkers are there just for the money and they're not going to pay attention to you. So now you feel like you're just by yourself. So that's why you just cannot work a 9 to 5 for the rest of your life. Just use it as a way to fund your business and then try and escape. But staying there just for the sake of money is not. Because guess what? If you stay there just for money, that company is going to keep making money off of you. So if your pay rate is 16.75, guarantee you're going to be selling them a product that's going to cost way more than that, because they have to pay you every week. They have to pay you every 2 weeks. You feel me? So, and that's another thing with the pay schedule. 9 to 5s don't pay you every day, but yet you spend money every day. You have to wait every week and every 2 weeks to get paid. So that's like another reason why people hate 9 to 5s, because waiting for your paycheck can be the worst, especially if you're in dire need of it and you don't have enough money to cover yourself for 1 week, or you'd be having to borrow money from all these apps just to sustain yourself, and now you end up paying more from borrowing from these apps that allow you to borrow money from your paycheck, and it's not fair. It's not fair at all. I feel like there has to be another way where people can just make money, being creative, because you're already creating for other people on a day-to-day basis. You're making them income. You're making their life a lot easier. Why not make yourself a lot, you know, th- why not make your life a lot easier? But yeah, people hate 9 to 5 jobs because they're just tired. They're just tired of working for nothing. I used to watch Squidward when I was a kid, and now I relate to him as to why he doesn't like his job. Like, he always has like a bad attitude, but it's because he's just a clarinet player who wants to be a famous musician one day, but he can't do it because he's at a restaurant all day, and I can't blame him. But yeah, so that concludes this video of why people hate their 9 to 5 jobs. Now, if you love your 9 to 5 job, comment down below why you love it, and if you reach this end, I truly appreciate you. And thank you, and have a good day.